So in this video, we're going to take our UV template into Photoshop and paint our texture. But I want to fix a few things here first. I've put a seam on the nose here. I think I'll remove that. That's good if you've got a separated nose like a clown's nose. But we want this to blend in. So I'm going to select that loop. I'm in edge mode. And I'm going to go Control E and clear seam. Go A, so the seam's not there anymore. So that's better. So I forgot to put one around the waist here. So I'm going to do that as well. I might just go Tab and just reduce the number of layers we're seeing. I'll go Tab again. So I'm going to go Z and select the lower ring, the lower loop, and I'll go Control E and mark seam this time. Good. So I'll just I want to come across now to the UV editor. So I'm just going to click on it, and I want to create a new image so that when we export our template it'll be a bit larger. So I'll just call it UV1, and here's the size at the moment. I want to double that, so I'm going to go 2048 and 2048. And OK. So you can see that's made that larger. It's just a transparent background, but we're only exporting the template anyway. So I'm going to go A and select, no I won't, I'll select it a different way. I'll come across to the materials editor. I only want to select the skin, remember. So I'm going to select the skin because I don't want the eyes or the inner mouth to be selected. I'm going to go U for unwrap. And that's what we're seeing, and that's our UV. It looks pretty good. So we'll just organise this a little bit better. I'm going to go A to deselect the meshes. I'll go L to select this pair of pants, and G to grab it and move it. I want to just move it over the top of the other one. I'll do the same with the sleeve here. G, and I'll move it across. Now, these are my shoes here, so I might just move them away. So I'll go L, I'll hold the Shift key and go L on the second pair, and go G and move the shoes away. That's one of the soles there as well. I think I'll move the hand instead. So I'll go L on the hand, G for grab, move it over here. I'll get this part of the hand, and G, remember the hand's in 4 parts. So that's the sole of one of the feet. I'll just go L and G and move it near the other one. That's our top of our pants, by the way, there. So down here we've got a couple of eyebrows and fingernails. Again, I want to separate these out a bit. So I'm going to go L, select one eyebrow, hold the Shift and L, G to move it near my hair. Now I want to move these. I'm going to go A to deselect. I want to move all of these fingernails at once if I can, away from the ears. So I'm going to go B and box select them, and go G and just move them out. So that's the ears. Now you can see there's another fingernail there, I think. So I'll go L to select it and go G, move it over here. It's probably the thumb actually. Here's the other one. I'll go L, G, move it over there. Now I think that's just the teeth. So we won't worry about those for the moment. Okay. So that looks a little bit better. I might just move the head over a little bit. and I'm just going to minimize the stretch, so I'll just let that go for a little while. That was under the UV pull-up menu. Minimize stretch, and I'll just left click to stop that. So I'll just save at this point, and we'll export this UV again. So UV, export UV layout. I'll call it the same name, character UV, and export. I'll just replace it. So we'll move across to Photoshop now. So I'm going to open that UV layout that we just saved, the template. It's a PNG file down here. So here it is. Now, we want to create new layers each time we paint a new texture on. So I'm going to create a new layer, and we'll do the skin first. So I'm going to come across to our paint and just get a skin colour happening that I like, and get a paintbrush. Let's have a look. I'm going to make it a flat edge rather than a feathered edge. We'll make it a little bit bigger than that. So here's my head up here. I'm going to zoom in on the navigator here a little bit, and I'm painting on the layer. I want to paint on the layer below the template. So I'm moving the template up. I'll click on layer 2, and I'll paint my skin in, my skin texture. I want to go outside the outlines, unlike colouring in. So these are the hands over here, so I'll paint the skin texture on them as well. Now these are the ears, so I'll paint it on there as well. Now I might as well do the fingernails while I'm here. So I'll just click on my skin colour and just get it a little bit lighter. I'll just paint my nails in. So I'm going to save this Photoshop file before I move on. I'll go save as, we'll call it character UV Photoshop, and I'll just save it. Okay, now, so that's our skin. So let's just zoom out. We might do the shoes next. So this is the top of our shoes, this is our soles. So we'll just get a nice black for the shoes, and we'll create a new layer for the shoes, and we'll come in and we'll just paint black. On our shoes there, and we might change it to a grey for the soles of the shoes. We'll paint them in. Now this is our pants. Let's put our pants in next. I've got a denim texture that I've downloaded from Google Images, a denim seamless texture. So I'm going to go Command A to select it, and C to copy it, come across to my character UV and paste it in. Control or Command C, V I mean. So it's coming a little bit too large, so I'm going to scale it down by just holding the Shift and scaling it down. Maybe something like that. I'll just double click on it. So I'm going to move it down to the bottom of the pants here. And I'm going to just select, just copy that and paste another one in. Being careful not to grab anything else here. I'm moving that down. I'll move it down the bottom here. I'm overlapping here, so I'll have to cut this texture back. But I'm just going to continue pasting it in and placing it. These are seamless textures that I found on the net, so they tile fairly well. Assuming that I do it correctly, that is. One more. Now I want to merge these together, so I'm just going to deselect my other layers. There's my shoe layer. So I'm just left with the denim layers now, and I clicked on the serrated edge there, and I'm going to go merge visible, create one layer out of them. I'll switch my other layers back on. Now I want to cut this layer down so it doesn't overlap any of my other texture components. So I'm just going to come up to the polygonal lasso tool, and I'm just going to cut around this. I'll cut this bit out first, making sure I'm on the right layer. I'll just go delete. That's probably okay actually. Doesn't matter, it's not hitting anything over here. So I'm just going to deselect, Control D or Command D, depending on what platform you're on. So I've got another texture that I've downloaded from Google Images, like a woolen texture. So I'm going to select it, Control or Command A, and copy it, Control C, Command C, and come in and paste it in. It'll go into a new layer. Again, it's far too big. This one's huge. Just going to scale it down. So I'm just going to go back into my selection tool, grab the edge of it, hold the Shift key, scale it down, move it back in, scale it right down, like so. And now I'm going to double click on it just to make sure I'm just on the right layer there. So I want to paste some of these in now. So I'll copy it and I'll paste it in. I'll move it down, paste another one, move it down, paste another, move it down. Just keep repeating and placing them, lining them up. Okay, so I'm going to merge those as well. So I'll switch the template off, and I'll switch down off these bottom layers. This doesn't look all that neat, so I'll just fix it a little bit. Still some gaps there. I'll zoom in a little bit more. No, I think they were just a display issue. It looks okay like that. Okay, so I'm going to merge those together. So there's a little serrated button, click on that, and go down to Merge Visible. And then I can switch the other layers back on. We can leave them off, it doesn't really matter. So I've overlapped the shoes here a little bit, so I will have to cut that layer. So I go the same way. I get the polygonal lasso tool and just come around this way, cutting these bits. And delete. And just deselect that. Now, I need some denim up here as well that I forgot about. So I'm just going to come down here and copy a bit of this denim. Actually, I need a larger piece, don't I? Not to worry. I'll just come down, I'll select the denim layer. We'll come across here and we'll copy and paste that denim in. We'll come in on a new layer, but we'll merge it down in a moment. We'll pull it up here. So we need a little bit bigger, don't we? Okay, I'll undo what I just did. Let's just delete that layer. I'll just duplicate the whole layer. So I'll come up here and duplicate layer. Won't bother naming it. And move the whole layer up. Let's just rotate it, I think. So we'll come in here and rotate it 90 degrees. Quite 90, let's type in 90 here. Okay, and we'll copy that and paste it in again. Move it up and just overlap those two. We'll merge them down. There's another way instead of merging visible. We're down on the right layer now. So I have to cut this out as well, so I'm just getting that same tool, polygonal tool, lasso tool, cutting this little bit of denim out, and delete. Now these are our sleeves over here, we need a bit of this as well. So same deal, I'm just going to duplicate the layer. In fact, I think I'll just copy it. So I'll come out, grab a bit that's big enough. Let's make it even bigger to be safe. I copy and paste. Get my move tool. Make sure I grab the right layer. Move it across and put it on the sleeve. It's overlapping there with my trousers, so I'll just come in and carefully move it. That should be okay. Alright, so I've got my hair here. So I'm going to create a new layer for the, I'll just merge that layer down so they're both on the same layer. The sleeves and the top. So I'm going to just colour this hair now. I'm just going to create a new layer for the hair. We'll come in and we'll make it a brownie sort of colour for the hair. And we'll get our paintbrush again. And we're painting the eyebrows, sorry, and the hair. Let's save at this point. So, I've got some teeth there, let's colour them as well. We'll create a new layer for that. We'll go just a slightly yellowed white. We'll zoom in there and paint the teeth. Okay, so we should try this out. See that it's going to work. Before we do, let's just put a little bit of colouring on the face here. So I'm just going to zoom in on the face. I'll go quite close. I'm going to make sure I'm on the faces layer, and I want to colour the lips here, so I'm just going to select with the eyedropper the face colour again, the skin colour, And I'll come in and I'll just warm that up a little bit so it's a little bit redder. And I'll get my paintbrush and I'll make it much smaller. And I might actually put a little bit of a soft edge on this, just so that it'll look a little bit better, I think. So I think I'm coming right out to the edge there. I could be making a mistake. In fact, I might even put this on a new layer in case I don't like it. So yeah, I'm coming out to this edge. Let's zoom in even closer. And I'm just painting around the edge first. Probably look pretty bad. Sometimes you have to do this a few times to get it right. That's not too bad, it's fairly soft. Looks a little bit uneven here, so I'll just come in and touch it up a little bit. That's not too bad. Okay, so we're doing this on another layer, which is probably a good idea. Let's select that skin tone again, and this time we'll just go a little bit darker. We'll put a little bit of eye detail in. Again, we want to fairly, we'll do this with the brush, but we want to drop the opacity. I'm going to drop it down to maybe 30%, and I might make the brush a little bit bigger. So it's actually sort of the size of the eyes. So I'm just going to paint this in a couple of times on either side, and I might do the nose as well. I went over the lips then, so I'm going to undo that and just be a bit more accurate. So I'm just doing the nose. So quite subtle, but just a bit of colouring there. Okay, I'm just zooming out on the navigator. Now you can do a lot more. You could do wrinkles and whatever. I'm not going to bother. I might just give him a rosy cheek though. I'm going to come in again, get that skin tone, select it again. Just pop it into the red a little bit more, and I'll get the paintbrush. We'll keep it nice and big. I'll increase the opacity a little bit, and I'm just going to move it out to about where I think the cheek will be. Click once, come over the other side, do the same. So that's giving it a little bit of colour on the cheek as well. Okay, I've zoomed out. I'm going to switch off this top layer, which is our template. I'll just save our Photoshop document, and I'm going to export this as a JPEG. I'm going to do 100% top quality, save, and we'll just call it character UV JPEG, and save. And I'm going to collapse Photoshop, go back into Blender. Now I come across to my skin material, and we're going to be using this texture panel, which is next, which is just the next tab over. Make sure I'm on skin first. I click on the texture tab, and I want to come down to type, and it's none at the moment. I'm going to change that to image or movie. I'm going to open that texture that I just saved. Character UV JPEG. There it is, I can see it. I'm going to come down to mapping. You might have to open it and generate it and change that to UV. And then if it's not already loaded, I'm going to load the UV map in by just clicking and selecting it. So that's our texture. I'm just going to go back to the material and drop the specular on it so there's no shininess. We'll come across, we'll go tab so we're in object mode. We'll come across here to the render display. And we're going to go up to render. And there's our character with his UV texture. And it's looking pretty cool. We move around the character here. I'll just switch on some more layers so that we've got more lights happening. That's the one we want. No, that must be one on the bottom layer too. Yeah, that's our backlight. It actually looks a little bit overlit, but it's good to see the textures. Well, that's working quite nicely. So in the next video, we'll go over a couple of advanced texture options, UV texture options. But one thing we'll do first is go back to the texture, come down the bottom here. Now at the moment we're just using the colour part of this texture. We've also got a normal map over here, or a bump map. So if I switch this on, he's suddenly going to go a bit crazy because the texture will come on. It's just too much at the moment, so I'm going to click on it and put it down to say 0.2 rather than 1, and then the texture looks rather good. I'll just show you, I'll toggle it off and on, so that's without the bump map or normal map, and that's with it. It just gives it that added dimension, a little bit of 3D in the texture as well. So we'll save that, and we'll see you next time.